Okay, I'll call regular city council meeting Monday, March 21st, 2016 to order. Clerk call roll.
Alderman Putoff. Here. Ferrari.
Here.
Waldorf. Here. Lukosius.
Here.
Radke.
Here.
Mueller. Here. Sapienza. Payton. Mayor Harrell.
Here, pledge of allegiance. Presentations. No presentations. Public comment cards.
None, Your Honor.
Okay, we have a motion to receive the minutes placed on file.
So moved, Your Honor. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to receive the minutes placed on file. Any discussion? All in favor signify aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Do we have a motion to receive the financial reports placed on file?
So moved. Second.
Have a motion and a second to receive the financial reports and place on file. Is there any discussion?
Your Honor, I wanted to point out with the year-end sales tax report, if council members have that in front of them. You see it's from January till the end of the year till December, and you notice that the year-to-date sales tax with the city, I believe it's the first time or second time it's happened, but it's $10,344,000, which is up about 5.4% from the last year. So retail is still moving in the city of Peru, and that certainly results in a positive for the city.
Any further discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Do I have a motion to receive the activity reports and place on file?
So moved, Your Honor.
Have a motion and a second to receive the utility reports placed on file. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Committee, Finance Safety Services, Chairman Putoff.
Alderman Radke.
Yes, Your Honor. First thing this evening is disbursements, total disbursements for March 23, 2016 is $1,806,438. I move that we receive this report, place it on file, and pay the bills in the usual manner.
Second, Your Honor.
Have a motion and a second to receive the disbursements, place on file, and pay the bills in the usual manner. Is there any discussion? Have a roll call vote. Call the roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf. Aye. Lukosius.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mueller.
Aye.
Sapienza. Payton.
Motion approved.
Tonight, Your Honor, we have a motion to authorize the mayor to execute the fiscal sponsorship agreement with Starved Rock County Community Foundation for the Illinois Valley Regional Airport Veterans Aviation Event. And this essentially is a non-for-profit group that will collect all of the donations from the upcoming Veterans Aviation event and distribute it to the proper committees. So that is a motion being made.
Second, Your Honor.
We have a motion by Alderman Putoff, second by Alderman Ferrari, to authorize the mayor to execute fiscal sponsor agreement with Starved Rock Country Community Foundation. Is there any discussion? Have a roll call vote. Clerk call the roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf. Aye. Lukosius.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mueller.
Aye.
Sapienza. Payton.
Motion approved.
Tonight also on the agenda, I have a motion to approve the motor fuel tax audit report, number 75, for the period beginning January 1st, 2015, and ending December 31st, 2015.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the motor fuel tax audit number 75. Is there any discussion? Have a roll call vote. Clerk call the roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf. Aye. Lukosius.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mueller.
Aye.
Sapienza. Payton.
Motion approved. Public Services, Chairman Waldorf.
Yes, sir. Tonight we have a motion to award bid package 6.01, general and alternate bids to the lowest bidder, Vissering Construction, in the amount of $753,107, with alternate bid number 1 being $6,000, alternate bid number 2 being $5,000, alternate bid number 3 is $7,500 for the Peru Public Works Building Phase 2. This is a motion that was on our last meeting agenda, that because Vissering is the general and they were the bidder on this, that we wanted to do some due diligence and make sure that this was a good bid. So Eric, if you want to give us a little more than that, please?
Yeah, if you remember last meeting, I had asked to table this motion, to take a look at, since we had only received one responsible bid for the general package. I wanted to consult with some independent consultants on the bid as well as myself. So we had two independent consultants look at the bid. I also sat down and looked at the bid. All three came to the conclusion that we have a fair number, and I'm recommending to award that project, or that packet.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second to award the bid packages for the general construction at the Peru Public Works Building. Is there any discussion? Have a roll call vote, clerk call the roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mueller. Sapienza. Peyton.
Motion approved.
You might also mention on that, Eric, that I believe all the material items had 2 to 4 bids that they gave you.
Yeah, that's correct. When I sat down with Vistry and their estimators, they demonstrated that they did go out and get competitive quotes for each of the material line items within the bid. So that's things such as block, drywall, doors, hardware, things of that nature. So they did show me the quotes for each of those items, and everything was very competitive.
And that's about 58%, I believe, of the total bid is actual material cost.
That's correct. About 42% of the bid is labor.
Thank you. Next, Your Honor, I make a motion to seek bids for the 2016 General Fund Street Program.
Have a motion and a second to seek bids for 2016 General Fund Street Program. Is there any discussion? Have a roll call vote, call the roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mueller.
Aye.
Sapienza. Peyton.
Motion approved.
Next, Your Honor, I will make a motion to seek bids for the 2016 MFT Street Program.
Have a motion and a second to seek bids for the 2016 MFT Street Program. Is there any discussion? Have a roll call vote, call the roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf. Lukosius.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mueller. Sapienza. Peyton.
Motion approved.
Your Honor, I would like to make a motion to accept the resolution to authorize expenditure of MFT funds.
Have a motion and a second to pass a resolution to authorize expenditure of MFT funds. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, clerk call the roll, please.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mueller.
Aye.
Sapienza. Peyton.
Motion approved.
Your Honor, I would like to make a motion to authorize the mayor and city clerk to execute the IDOT highway permit for the Area 3 Storm Sewer Project, please.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second to authorize the mayor and city clerk to execute Illinois Department of Transportation highway permit for the Area 3 Storm Sewer Project. Is there any discussion? Have a roll call vote, clerk call the roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mueller.
Aye.
Sapienza. Peyton.
Motion approved.
Your Honor, I'll make a motion to accept the resolution to construct storm sewer and water main improvements along US 6 which by law comes under the jurisdiction and control of the Department of Transportation in the state of Illinois. This is another motion on the Area 3 Storm Sewer Project.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second for the resolution required by the Illinois Department of Transportation for our storm sewer and water main improvements. Is there any discussion? Have a roll call vote, clerk call roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mueller. Sapienza. Peyton.
Motion approved.
Next, Your Honor, I'd like to make a motion to seek bids for the electric department hydro plant roof repairs.
Second, Your Honor.
We have a motion and a second to seek bids for the electric department hydro plant roof repairs. Is there any discussion? Now, that's the original roof, right? That was built in '93, somewhere in there. Lasted quite a while. Any discussion? Have a roll call vote, clerk call roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mueller.
Aye.
Sapienza. Peyton.
Motion approved.
Last year, Your Honor, I'd like to make a motion to award the 2016 fireworks bid to Melrose Pyrotechnics in the amount of $20,000. I'd like to thank Clerk Bartley for assisting the Park and Rec Department with preparing the bid packages. I believe there were 3 bid packages returned. Melrose has worked with the city in the past for the fireworks, and the recommendation from the Rec Board is to go back to Melrose.
I'll second that, Your Honor.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, based on the recommendation of the Rec Board to award the 2016 fireworks to Melrose Pyrotechnics, the amount of $20,000. Is there any discussion? Let's see, we'll have a roll call vote. Clerk, call the roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mueller.
Aye.
Sapienza. Peyton.
Motion approved. Anything further from Public Services?
No, sir. Thank you.
Sounds like, Eric, you've been kind of busy with all this, what's happened here tonight.
We're extremely busy right now and quite a bit coming up as well, so it's going to be a busy construction season.
I see Osla started on the Wenzel Road utilities. I see Gensini started on the Rock Street, finishing up from last year.
That's correct, and I believe Wojcinski Concrete is going to be starting on the ADA improvements at the police station if they haven't today.
Okay, report city attorney ordinance resolutions.
Yes, the first ordinance amends the Code of Ordinances concerning the licensing of contractors, and it exempts state licensed plumbing contractors while doing only plumbing work, and also exempts state licensed roofing contractors doing only roofing work, because both of those are under the jurisdiction of the State Licensing Act for both plumbing and roofers.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the ordinance as written and read.
So moved, Your Honor.
Second, Your Honor.
Have a motion and a second to approve the ordinance as written and read. Is there any discussion? Have a roll call vote. Clerk, call the roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mueller.
Aye.
Sapienza. Peyton.
Motion approved.
Next, at the recommendation of the finance officer, be it ordained interfund debt owed by the Water and Sewer Enterprise Fund, the amount of $751,214.68. The Electric Light Enterprise Fund is forgiven.
I'd like to make a motion that this ordinance be adopted as written and read.
Second, Your Honor.
We have a motion and a second to approve the ordinance as written and read. Is there any discussion? Have a roll call vote. Clerk, call the roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mueller.
Aye.
Sapienza. Peyton.
Motion approved.
Next, be placed on file is a resolution passed by the Board of Library Directors of the city requesting that they become a Peru Library District. That should be placed on file.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve this resolution as written and read?
Well, no, that would just be the one from proof, according to to receive, place on file, the Peru Public Library.
Okay, to receive, place on file.
So moved, Your Honor.
We have a motion by Alderman Mueller, second by Alderman Sapienza, to receive, place on file, approve Public Library's resolution on conversion. Is there any discussion? Have a roll call vote. Clerk, call roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mueller.
Aye.
Sapienza. Peyton.
Motion approved.
The city has a resolution. The Peru Public Library has adopted its resolution pursuant to Section 10-15 of the Public Library District Act of 1991 as amending, expressing its desire to operate and be maintained under the provisions of the Act and calling for the conversion thereto. And whereas the corporate authority, City of Peru, have been requested to approve such conversion within 60 days of the resolution adopted by the Board of Library Trustees as provided by law. Whereas in the best interest of residents, taxpayers, City of Peru, as well as the residents, taxpayers, and users of Peru Public Library, that such conversion be approved. Now therefore, be it resolved, City Council of the City of Peru hereby approves the conversion of the existing library to a library operated and maintained under the Public Library District Act of 1991 as amended, and supports the petition of the Board of Library Trustees to the Circuit Court of LaSalle County seeking a final order for that conversion. Resolution should be effective from and after its passage and approval as provided by law.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the resolution as written and read.
So moved, Your Honor.
Have a motion and a second to approve the resolution as written and read. Is there any discussion?
Yes, Your Honor, I'd like to just say a few things. I think from one aspect of the city council, it's probably the last thing we want to do is to put another taxing body on our tax assessments or on your tax bills as a Peru citizen. But it's been unfortunate that the elected officials here really have our hands tied by state law, that we have no dealings with the the taxation of the library. And one of the problems or concerns we've had in the past is the library board's ability to tax at the maximum rate. And we certainly all agree that the library is a very effective place to be, does wonderful programs, it's a wonderful library. But again, some of our concerns have been is how much money do you need and how much taxation they're required. So certainly that's been out of our hands, and probably the best solution is to have a taxing body that's elected by the taxpayers to take a firm look at the financial situation of the library. And at this point, you see it in a very strong financial position. We just saw the report of $436,737 that they have on hand compared to $230,000 in 2013. So certainly by maximizing the taxation levels, you're seeing that as probably a surplus of cash from the library standpoint. And some of the concerns that we've had is, for example, some of the wages have gone up from 1 year, according to our audit, of 27%, from $198,862 to the past fiscal year of $270,917. So certainly, from our standpoint, when we sit as an elected official, one of the biggest priorities is try to keep the taxation at a limited basis or as low as possible. And at least that's my hope by voting for the taxing district to go about with our hands tied. It's really the choice of an elected body with the library board.
I guess I'm one that's going to have to vote no because I don't believe we should have more taxing bodies, and I appreciate the argument, but I don't think we should have additional taxing bodies in the city.
I agree with Alderman Radke. I'm going to have to vote no just because I don't want to create another taxing body.
I'm just looking at, is there another solution as far as keeping the taxing rate as low as possible?
There may not be, but the fact is that the library levied, I think, initially about $500,000 this year, and the city council did reduce that levy by about $50,000. So by creating a taxing body, then they have the ability to levy for IMRF and Social Security, which right now we have the decision as to whether or not they levy those funds.
Okay, is there any other discussion? Okay, we'll have a roll call vote, quick call roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Abstain.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Nay.
Radke.
Nay.
Mueller.
Aye.
Sapienza. Payton.
Okay, motion approved.
And then next we have a resolution authorizing a license agreement for Arby's Restaurant. The gentleman that owns Arby's now, that originally constructed it some 26 years ago or so, is retiring. He's 67, I think he stated at the earlier meeting, and he's selling that Arby's. Some of you may recall, originally that was Phillips 66 gas station. It was environmentally contaminated. At that time, it was all cleaned up. And then Arby's built a nice restaurant there. Corporate is requiring several $100,000 improvements to Arby's, just as McCafe or McDonald's had gone through, Wendy's a year or two ago, and Arby's will be under a substantial renovation project. And at his age, he felt it was time to move on, so he is selling to Lunan Corporation out of Chicago that has about 15 or so Arby's presently, so they're a good operator. And when they did the survey on the property, there's encroachments of the wheel stops into the city right-of-way. Originally, the first Alta survey back in the 90s did not show any encroachments because you had the wheel stops, and then somebody pulled off their fender, so the existing owner took out the wheel stops, and I think as it's been continually overlaid with asphalt, just the rolling of the asphalt pushed out the existing parking stalls into the right-of-way. And also the two little entrance signs coming in, the low ones, are also in the city right-of-way, and that concerns any bank lending financing, so the purchaser has requested a license agreement. License normally by law is by definition is terminable at will. They wanted something a little more permanent, so the proposed license agreement here is for a 20-year term. We've had time involved in this because this has been going on between attorneys in Chicago representing the purchaser and the seller's attorneys out of Valparaiso, Indiana. So to recover the city's costs that we put in it, I told them the first-year license is $1,000. And then every year thereafter, it's $500, increased by 3% a year over the term. So you'll have to show that city clerk as a receivable. So $1,000 would be paid up front, and then the next year it'd be $500, and then every year thereafter it'd be increased by 3% over the 20-year term. And this resolution resolved to authorize the mayor and city clerk and each of them for on behalf of the city to go ahead and execute that license agreement.
I'll make a motion to accept the agreement.
Do I have a second? I have a motion and a second to approve the resolution as written and read. Is there any discussion? Have a roll call vote. Clerk, call the roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf. Lukosius.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mueller. Sapienza. Payton.
Motion approved. Unfinished business. Do we have any unfinished business? Jeff, you want to bring up that?
Right, on Friday, Scott and myself went to court regarding the Marathon gas station. I think everybody received an email from Scott kind of summarizing what came about on that. We've been ordered to get soil samples around the tanks, so I'm going to work with Eric here, and we're going to get a company there to get those soil samples taken to see if we got any contamination there before we continue to move on. So we'll be getting that done, so I just want to let everybody know that's kind of where we're at right now.
Is there another court date scheduled? And then if the owner doesn't respond, then what happens?
When you take the soil samples, how far do you go as far as south from that area?
So if there is no contamination, obviously that's good. But on the other hand, if there is contamination, then you're gonna fall into the Leaking Underground Storage Tank Act, and it goes into that fund, and the fund pays for the remediation except for the $10,000 deductible. And that's where Claire Manning has advised us to, so if they find contamination, she'll get it into the Lust Fund, and they'll take it from there.
If there is not contamination, do we have budgeted funds to do that removal?
Well, you
It's
have,
probably not a big expense if you're doing that, and then you're just,
Budget under demo, do you know what the budget is under demo? Right now, we're just looking at the one house on Main Street. As soon as that gets approved, which shouldn't be too long, we'll get that one down, and then with the rest of it, we can work towards the marathon.
Okay.
okay, is there anything else under old business? Okay, new business. Do we have a motion to authorize Human Resource seek applicants for part-time seasonal code enforcement officer?
Yes, Your Honor, I'll make that motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to authorize Human Resources to seek applicants. Is there any discussion? Okay, we'll have a roll call vote. Clerk call the roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari. Aye. Waldorf. Aye. Lukosius.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mueller.
Aye.
Sapienza. Peyton.
Motion approved. Okay, I'll read the proclamation, but do we have a motion to receive and place on file the Junior Achievement Day, April 7th, 2016, the Fair Housing Month, April 2016, and the Child Abuse Prevention Month, April 2016?
Second, Your Honor.
I have a motion and a second. The City of Peru recognizes junior achievement of the Heartland's purpose to inspire and prepare young people to succeed in a global economy. Therefore, I, Scott Harrell, Mayor of Peru, do hereby proclaim official recognition of April 7th, 2016 as Junior Achievement Day in the City of Peru. Second proclamation. April 11th, 2016 marks the 48th anniversary of the passage of the U.S. Fair Housing Law, Title 8 of the Civil Rights Act of 1968. Therefore, I, Scott Harrell, Mayor of the City of Peru, do hereby resolve that April 2016, being Fair Housing Month, began a year-long commemoration of the U.S. Fair Housing Law and urge all citizens to wholeheartedly recognize this celebration throughout the year. And the third proclamation is preventing child abuse and neglect is a community problem that depends on involvement among people throughout the community. Therefore, I, Scott Harrell, as Mayor of the City of Peru, do hereby proclaim the month of April 2016 to be Child Abuse Prevention Month in Peru, Illinois, and encourage all citizens to support Youth Service Bureau of Illinois Valley and learn about its many programs and resources in our community. So we have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion approved. Petitions, communications.
Several communications. First petition is from Martin Equipment seeking waivers to the zoning and subdivision ordinance for the development on May Road.
I'll make a motion to refer that to the Joint Planning Commission.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion to receive the petition, place on file, and refer to the planning and zoning for review and recommendation. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried.
Could you email?
The second communication is from Phyllis Atwell, president of the Sunset Horseshoe League, requesting permission to hold their Horseshoe League at Centennial Park on Thursday nights from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m., June through August, and this is probably the fourth year they've done it.
I'll make a motion, Your Honor, that we receive the communication, place it on file, and grant permission.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to receive the communication, place on file, and grant permission. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried.
Next communication is from the March of Dimes director, requesting permission to hold the annual River Valley March for Babies 5K walk in the city of Peru on Sunday, April 24th at 1 p.m., and also invite the mayor to kick off the event.
I'll make a motion to receive the communication, place it on file, and grant permission.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second to receive the communication, place on file, and grant permission. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried.
Next, we have a communication from Tom Reardon requesting permission to hold the annual water fights at Centennial Park Saturday, June 4th, 2016, to benefit the Gary Eccles Memorial Fund and closing 13th Street between West and Putnam Street.
Do you have a,
Yeah, I move that we allow it.
have a second? I have a motion and a second to receive the communication, place on file, and grant permission. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried.
Communication from Starved Rock Runners requesting permission to hold the annual Starved Rock Runners Club at Baker Lake Mondays from 6:30 to 7, starting June 20th through August 15th, and reserve the East Shelter. Again, this is an event, I think this is the fourth year they've done it.
Make a recommendation that we approve the request from Starved Rock Runners Club.
Second, Your Honor.
We have a motion, a second to receive the communication, place on file, and grant permission. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried.
We have a request from Felicia Vizioni requesting permission to hold a wedding ceremony at Baker Lake on Sunday, October 2nd, and they've already coordinated with the police department for the appropriate shelter.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second, Your Honor.
We have a motion and a second to receive the communication to hold a wedding ceremony at Baker Lake on Sunday, October 2nd. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried.
We have a communication from Operation Promise looking to hold their annual color run on Sunday, June 12th at Baker Lake, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., and a proof of liability insurance will be provided.
We have a motion to receive communication, place on file.
So moved, Your Honor.
Second.
And grant permission.
And grant permission. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried.
As luck would have it, I have two more. I'd like to ask for the council to receive and place on file and concur with the request subject to site location, the Compassionate Friends request that we got earlier this evening.
So moved.
Second, Your Honor.
Okay, we have a motion, a second, to act on the presentation, just to receive, place on file, and grant permission once they give us a site location for their memorial, was it?
Compassionate Friends.
Compassionate Friends Memorial at Baker Lake. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried.
Your
Okay.
Honor, I'll be happy to work with them on that.
Well, you'll let them know that we've passed, they need to let us know their next step now, where, right?
Uh, Sounds great. The last one is from Rural King. It was received today. There's been a couple of phone calls on this particular event that Rural King is holding, and we did consult with Chuck Studer over at the airport, and I don't recall, but apparently something like this has happened before. So the Rural King is going to have a celebration on April 30th where they're going to do a ping pong ball drop. So the company will have a helicopter arranged to drop 1,000 ping pong balls of different sizes, and then people will get a percentage off of things. The CEO of the company will be there, and he will actually be the one dropping the ping pong balls from the helicopter. They will also have local restaurants selling at the event. Marceloni's Pizza, Godfather's, Cowboy and Tony. The ping pong drop will be at 1 o'clock. They will be giving away tickets to a music festival, and they will also have a live band performing there from 4 until 6 p.m. It's their property. There shouldn't be any conflicts, and there's no issues from an aviation standpoint.
I'll make a motion
Special
that
permitting.
we allow that. There's nothing better than a good ping pong ball drop.
I just, one thing that you're really gonna have to be aware of is traffic. I mean, it's really tough now, but when you put a helicopter and some ping pongs and free items, you're looking at a major time.
I will
Yeah,
get
so,
the contact information for
I mean, I seen it in a park, a ping pong drop, and it was pretty
April
rugged.
30th. Well, what I asked them to do, because there's so much involved with the music and food and the ping pong drop, is, is there a permit for that? And we really don't have a permit. It is their property. I'm more or less informing the council, and I didn't even think of Alderman Putoff's potential risk with traffic. It would be something you'd probably rather know about now than the morning that it becomes a disaster up there with traffic and stuff. They're giving away a $250 gift card. They're giving away a firearm as part of the drop.
That adds another 20,000 in the Illinois Valley community.
Well, how high are they dropping these from?
I don't know. All I can say is that we communicated with Chuck, and he does recall Econo Foods did this a couple of times, and he said there weren't any restrictions for
But
how
I mean,
they
the
do
point is, the wind shears and that from a helicopter wouldn't throw them into 251, would it?
Depends on which way.
No, I mean, there's a potential liability.
So then the ping pong balls will go down.
Well, no, I'm just saying.
I'm actually not, the communication isn't a ask for permission communication, it's more of a informational thing. I mean, certainly at the council's pleasure, I could reach out and ask that they place the city as an additional insured on their liability policy. I'm sure they have an additional liability policy for having an
Yeah, I
event.
think that'd be a good idea, Dave.
Okay.
That and
It's a windy day.
what other communities have they done it in? And then, Jim, can you check, is it okay with the FAA? I don't have a clue.
Well, they would be subject to, height restrictions, which you're not supposed to fly within 500 feet of, people or houses or businesses or whatever. And I can't imagine that they would be dropping them from 500 feet, but, more like 100 feet or 150 feet would be what I'm thinking they would probably drop them. So I don't know. I'm not getting into the regulations there, but
I think at 500 feet, they weight them. They put weights in them.
Alderman Radke said it's in the second ward and there's no rules, so.
I would ask you to place it on file, but not grant permission, and have a little further knowledge on this. Because, we don't want to grant permission. We don't know about insurance at this time. We don't know about FAA rules. That's my thoughts.
It's on a property, right? So what
Well,
liability do we have?
we grant permission, what does that hold us liable to? I don't know, I just don't. Well, they never did. Before they built the store, they came in and they did call one time and they were told no, and they did it anyway, then they never called and asked again. As far as landing, because it wasn't approved to land there. What's that?
Yeah, their request does not at all ask for permission, it is just
Well, then I would say
announcing the event.
receive and place on file. I wouldn't add grant permission. What's your thoughts on that? You open yourself up if you make an official
I agree with
receive and place on file.
I can rescind the motion.
Okay, do we have a motion and a second then?
that. Yeah, I move to receive it and place it on file.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion to receive the Rural King ping pong drop and place on file. And then, City Clerk Dave Bartley will call and check on insurance. Jim, will you ask the question or ask Chuck to do it or whatever? You know, I don't know anything about it. And then, also Clerk Bartley, will you ask if they can give some information on where they've done this before? And we can contact those cities?
I saw this done out at Oak Ridge, and it wasn't ping pong, it was golf balls. But they drop them, and then the people, you know, you buy a ball with a number on it, and then what balls end up closest to a certain hole and flag that they put up, you know, then those are the people who win the prize. But that helicopter dropped those balls from, I'm guessing 100 feet, you know. But so I don't know how they're going to do this, but yeah.
I think we need to know a little bit more of a game plan.
I'm with you.
Okay.
I didn't want to ignore it.
No.
Because I thought it was kind of a big deal.
Okay, all in favor to receive and place on file? All opposed? Motion carried.
No more communications at this time, Your Honor.
Okay, public comment. Do we have any public comment? Anyone for public comment? Linda? No? Right, where's the cars gonna park, where's the people gonna assemble? We don't know anything right now. The letter just came today. Okay, any other public comment? Closed session, no. Adjournment motion? Have a motion and a second for adjournment, all in favor? Meeting adjourned.